Hey guys, welcome back. We're the Filmsmiths. I'm Zach.
I'm Nick.
And this is our 2014 wrap-up. We're going to talk about a lot of the movies that we didn't have time to get to for a full review, but are still important and relevant.
Especially considering it's real big into award season now.
Yeah, we got awards, or we don't.
We have none.
We have 0 awards,
We
but
have
they might. Some of them already do. Let's talk about it.
Theme song. First on the list is Boyhood.
Also known as Puberty Time Lapse, the movie.
Boyhood is mostly talked about over the fact that Richard Linklater filmed this over the course of 12 years, which was really more like 1 week every year. It was a 12-week movie, but...
Yeah, you know, I watched Boyhood.
Me too.
And it was a good movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But my concern is that this movie's getting a lot of award buzz, and in fact it's already won the Golden Globe for Best Drama. I'm worried that it's gonna win that award and others based on its scale rather than its actual merit.
It's a Titanic situation.
Right. Titanic won Best Picture because it was huge.
People are more enamored with the scale of the project and how much effort it took to make it rather than the actual result from it. Not saying it's bad at all.
Right. It's not a bad movie. You know, there are some issues with like the acting, especially the children when they're
Child actors
younger.
are often bad.
Yeah, in fact, Lorelai Linklater
Sorry.
is basically just removed from the movie like halfway through just because, boy, she's not good.
But the final act of the film
Yeah, very good.
almost entirely makes up for any issues I had throughout the movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the ending. It's a good movie.
Patricia Arquette's getting a lot of attention. I would argue that Ethan Hawke is the best thing about the movie.
Ethan Hawke did a great job. Proud of you, Ethan. I love you.
Yeah, I liked Boyhood quite a bit, but I just don't think it's quite as good as everyone is talking it up to be. I gave it a 7.5.
And I give it the number 23 starring Jim Carrey.
Why would you do that? Next on the list is Selma.
Also known as, we don't really have a joke for this one.
Not a joking matter. Timing. So Selma is the Martin Luther King Jr. biopic.
Sure is.
The end.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically, you know, it focuses on Martin Luther King, you know, in the midst of the civil rights movement, particularly while he was in Selma, Alabama, organizing marches in that town, as he did.
David Oyelowo is the main actor, and his performance is by far the best thing about the movie.
Yeah, you crushed it, man. That was way to go.
A lot of people are upset that Selma was snubbed a lot at the Oscars, particularly Oyelowo for Best Actor, and that I agree with. He probably should have gotten a nomination. A lot of people are also upset about the director, Ava DuVernay, not being nominated. She would have been the first African-American woman to be nominated, and I don't know if I 100% agree on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very well-made movie. She did a great job. It's tough, you know, when you look at the field this year, you know, I wouldn't put her in the top 5 either.
She's not on my list either, sorry. There were a lot of pacing issues I had with this. The beginning felt really, really slow. I still thought Selma was good, it just wasn't quite, just like Boyhood, it wasn't quite at the top of my list. I give Selma a 7.
And I give Selma 43 racist governors.
Played by Tim Roth. We'll go for him. Next on the list is Into the Woods.
Also known as Meryl Streep's Day Off.
So Into the Woods is the film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical of the same name.
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
In case you don't know what the same name means.
It stars Meryl Streep and Emily Blunt and Chris Pine and Anna Kendrick and a whole bunch of other famous people.
Sure does.
Singing some songs.
Yeah, so Nick and I went into this with very different expectations. I had never seen Into the Woods on stage. I didn't really know anything about it. You know, I enjoy a musical, but I just wasn't familiar. You know, it can be movie adaptations of Broadway musicals they can be questionable.
Yeah, they're very hit or miss, and that hit is usually a pretty weak hit.
And I'm looking at you, Anne Hathaway.
When it comes to film adaptations of musicals, I think Into the Woods is one of the better versions. Now that doesn't mean that it's great necessarily, because the scale is skewed pretty low, but I think it's pretty good. If you're looking to watch Into the Woods, you're definitely going to want to stick with the stage adaptation over the film, but if you're not that attached to it, it's definitely a fun time. Whether you've seen it before or you haven't, Chris Pine singing Agony is going to be one of your favorite things.
It was a lot of fun. That scene was a lot of fun. You know, it was a good movie. You know, I mean, I get it's just a stage adaptation, but you know, it felt like it could have ended sooner.
Johnny Depp's Wolf is also a very questionable portrayal.
I forgot about that.
Not necessarily the acting, but definitely the makeup and costuming is
And just
not a good decision.
and also just the character itself is upsetting.
Yeah, but that's already there anyways.
Yeah, but now I have to think about it.
I gave Into the Woods a 5.5. It is fine.
And I give it 5.5 Woods. Tiger Woods. Happy for you.
Golf.
You're back in the game. Kind of. Sorry about your back. You're back in the... Oh my god!
Next on the list is The Theory of Everything.
Also known as British Man Invents Science, Part 1.
The Theory of Everything stars Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking and Felicity Jones as Mrs. Hawking.
Correct. Boy, it sure does star them, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They are very good.
Very, very, very well-deserved Oscar nominations for both of them.
Thumbs up. They crushed it.
Where this film lives and breathes is in the performances from Redmayne and Jones, and they blow you away.
Yeah, that's really the heart of this movie. You know, it's a movie based on a memoir, specifically Mrs. Hawking's. Movies based on memoirs aren't always exciting because memoirs are kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it weren't for just the unbelievable acting performances in this movie, you know, it's nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
But just those performances alone really take this movie from, like, you know, good or decent to, I think, great.
I really like The Theory of Everything. At times, you know, being based on a memoir, it did feel a little slow. I gave The Theory of Everything an 8.
And I give it 38 black holes.
That is far too many. Sorry, space. Next on the list is The Imitation Game.
Also known as British Man Invents Science, Part 2.
The Imitation Game stars Benedict Cumberbatch as Alan Turing, who, during World War II, was trying to break the Nazi code Enigma.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. When is the internet gonna recognize Benedict Cumberbatch? You know? The man deserves it. Tumblr, get on it or something. What are you guys doing? Yeah, it focuses on Alan Turing during World War II and him and his team, you know, trying to crack this Nazi code machine. It's how they're getting messages to
Their trail
their
of
spies.
failures, not being able to figure out how to do it while Turing is building his machine.
Which, plot twist, it's computers. Like, he built computers.
Cumberbatch, I think, does a terrific job in this film, although not as good as Eddie Redmayne. And the problem with The Theory of Everything and The Imitation Game coming out in the same year is they're going to be endlessly compared, like we're about to do right now.
Benedict did a really good job. I mean, the story of Alan Turing is tragic. It's
Very
one
sad.
of the saddest stories about an individual that I can imagine. It's a real bummer. But and Benedict Cumberbatch does a very good job, and the movie is good. I like Imitation Game less than Theory of Everything. I think Redmayne's performance was just so spectacular. I think though, if you're just looking for a movie to watch, you know, something maybe a little bit more entertaining, I think you will want to go with Imitation Game. It's very good.
And not to take anything away from Redmayne at all, I agree Redmayne is much better than Cumberbatch in these specific film roles. I personally like The Imitation Game a bit more. The story is more contained. Theory of Everything spans almost Hawking's entire life, whereas The Imitation Game focuses on essentially one event for Turing. It just feels stronger in the tone. I give The Imitation Game an 8.5.
I'll give it 18 computers. Yay!
Yay! So if you've seen any of those films, and I know we talked about quite a few, let us know what you thought in the comment section below, if you agree, if you disagree. Our social media handles will be in the description box, so you can talk to us there about these things as well.
Sure can. A lot of movies. Award season.
You can stay tuned for our part 2 of the wrap-up of 2014. That'll be coming out relatively soon.
It's coming. You can't stop it. Don't try to stop it.
If there's things that you think we might not hit in that wrap-up, or you just want to make sure that we hit them in the wrap-up, be sure to comment and let us know. We don't want to miss anything.
Unless it really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
It's
a bad thing, don't. It's too late.
You know, we're not gonna talk about Mall Cop 2.
Well, that wasn't 2014, so no, we wouldn't.
But regardless, I can't do it.
Well, that's about it for this one. I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
We'll see you next time.
Deuces.